Howdy, howdy. I'm George with Music Production Alliance, where I serve you, the home studio community, by providing you resources for music production, recording, mixing, and mastering. Today, I'm looking at the drums. As you know, I've been mixing a song by Jesse Rutstein, producer Ben Dalianis, called John's Song. And today, I'm going to focus on the drums. I'm going to work on EQ and compression and hopefully some effects. I'm going to mix the drums in context. I've been doing this a lot more often. I do feel that this is the best way. I will only go to solo if I want to address a very specific problem or I need to do some critical listening. But overall, I'm going to try to keep the natural tone of the drums. The drums were well recorded, and I want to ensure that I EQ and compress every part of or every element of the kit in context so that I'm not lying to myself and spending a lot of time doing this. And this actually makes your mixing a little bit faster. Let me show you how I will do that. I am, however, going to solo the drum kit just to mix it in context so that you can really hear the difference, okay? Then we all have... All right, let's take the kick. I'm going to use the Pro EQ. All right, notice I don't need cymbals in the kick. I don't need some of the mids, and I have to be careful that I get rid of that cymbal bleed from the kick. So what I've done, I've put a high cut to about 1.8, and that's giving me enough attenuation of the cymbals in this mix. And I'm boosting the fundamental frequency of the kick here right about 100. Notice that I don't lose anything with bringing the high cut all the way to 700, and I could keep pushing it up. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's bring in a compressor. And I only have one kick, so maybe I'm going to have to bring up a little bit of the top mids to make sure the kick cuts through. But let's bring in some compression to help us deal with this kick. The slower I have the decay time, the harder it is to hear the kick and hear it cutting through the mix. So at about 4, you still see it dropping pretty slow still, but the kick's still not so present. Okay, so I'll bring it down to 2. All right, and the ratio, I have it at about 3-to-1. This doesn't give me an option for faster attack. I do have the analog emulation off, and the input meter, I have it to gain reduction. When I bypass the compressor, the kick gets really soft. When I engage it, the kick comes up a little bit. See if I bring down the threshold, what happens? Okay, that's sounding good. Again, I want to make it sound natural. I don't want to change a lot. I'm going to put the new soft tube tape plugin on here just to help me get some of that roundness that I want. Okay, that's a bit too fat, but now I can start playing with the parallel controls here. The dry wet knob is gonna allow me to blend in the uncompressed signal or the unprocessed tape signal. Looks like I like B at about 8. Okay, and I'm gonna bring in a little bit of the attack back because now it sounds too smooth. So let's listen to the kick bypass with all the inserts bypass real quick. Okay, and for this I use the transient designer from Native Instruments. I really like that transient designer. It's called Transient Master. Here we go. Bypass the plugins. And let's look at the So I do have quite a bit of gain going on, and what I'll do is I'll just bring a mix tool. Okay, let's take the snare top, and I'm gonna use a Pro EQ again. I don't need that low end stuff. Okay, so basically I'm just looking for some roundness to the snare and to make it sound a little bit fatter. Now that you're hearing it across the channels with the overheads and with the rest of the bleed, so this is gonna help me get some of that tone. And you see that I'm raising the low frequency at about 100 and then I'm doing a cut here at about 349, almost like a Pultic type curve there. Okay, and I want to add a little bit of attack around, looks like 5K, and I really can't see. I'm not really used to this plugin, so I have to look down here sometimes to figure out where I'm at, but I'm trying to use my ears as much as possible. Bypassed. It loses the roundness, you hear that? Engage. Okay, do a quick check.
Then we all have peace in mind, but now you're free to fly.
Okay, let's bring in some compression. And I always love the CLA 76 for compression on the snare. Okay, so I lowered the attack a little bit because it was a little bit, actually I raised the attack a little bit, meaning I made it a little bit faster. Over here, I think I was getting a lot more. So if I make it a little faster, let's see what I get. Okay, that's not making a big difference. I think about 5 is good. Bypass it. Basically, this compressor is just making it a bit tighter, and you'll tell the difference right now when I play it. Without compression, it's kind of loose. You hear the wires a little bit more. It's kind of expanded, and you can hear a lot more of the bleed and stuff. With compression, you don't have that problem as much. It brings it in a little bit tighter, a little bit more focused. Okay, that sounds good for now. Not a lot. And then I'm also going to try the tape on this one. See what this does for me. Okay, and I'm actually going to leave it there right away and made it a bit fatter the way I like it. Watch, I'll play it with it on and then bypassed. But now I'm like, I mean, the meter is going above 0, but I'm not clipping. that sounds nice. Let's move on to the snare bottom. And notice how I'm using my filters, my high passes and my low passes, or my high cuts and low cuts. This is really important because you don't want to leave that stuff behind that you don't really need. A lot of this low end stuff you don't really need on snares or any of the other instruments. And another thing that I like to do is I like to sweep below and not up. If you sweep on top, you're gonna get something all the time. Watch this. Better just to do it below so you can actually hear what you're taking out. Okay, now let's blend it in. And let's just add a little compression. I don't really think it needs it, but let's just try it. And let's see if we can get some more snap out of it, some more of the top end from the snare wires. And I'll try the CLA 76 again, but this time I'll do the bluey. Okay, that sounds good. It's actually bringing the top end a little bit, and I'll just lower it or just blend it in a little bit. Okay, and let's hear the hi-hat.